Yeah, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You know what it is. It's the 7 o'clock hour, and you on point with your two favorite hip hop sports journalists, Hakim Green from the group Channel Live. All we do is spark madism, and my homie Wesley J, because he rocked those stats.
Kobe.
Wesley J, because he rock his own stats.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Indeed, 2021 has begun. This is the first show of the season. And lots happened in this week. Sports wise and politically. Lots been happening. It's just off the chain right now.
Yeah.
We just got finished watching, an insurrection happen right in front of us. So it was kind of like a sports event because I just sat back with the popcorn and just watched the shenanigans happen.
Absolutely.
You had high jumping going on. You had cross country.
You had wall climbing.
You had wall climbing.
You had a stair chase.
Stair chase. You had the window throw.
Yeah.
You had riflery.
Yeah.
Little target practice going on.
Target practice. Yeah. There was quite a few things going on yesterday in DC.
Yeah, she was all off the.
We'd have to start with that. I mean, we'd be remiss if we are sports show, but we got to say a little something about just the whole aspect of it. Off.
Yeah, man. So it's a shame, bro. It's just a shame that America's come to this. What's up, Aaron Rice? The third is in the building. Aaron Rice is in the house. A Boogie. What's good, money? Yeah, son. Yeah, man. But yesterday was crazy, and 6 o'clock came curfew time, and they cleared the area. So thank God it didn't get more extra than what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like it's funny because if you get on social media, everybody kind of misses the point. Nobody wants anybody to get hurt at all. We just want them to have the same type of patience with people that look like us that they had yesterday. That's all it is. And they don't really.
You froze up for a second. Yeah, we froze up for a second. So I want you to repeat that so we don't miss anything you said.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was just saying that you go on social media and the message gets misunderstood that we didn't want anyone to get hurt when we say, how come they didn't shoot? How come they didn't do this? Absolutely, you don't want to see other Americans get hurt.
No,
you just want them to have the same type of patience when it comes to people that look like us, and just that understanding when it comes to people that are really unarmed. And I guess the question always remains is why it just seems like we're more of a threat in the eyes of law enforcement and people that don't look like us. But the reality is that the threat was right on TV yesterday.
Yeah. America was built on this idea of otherism.
Yeah.
The others, and the others most times is predicated on your skin color.
Yeah.
So it's easy to target Black and brown people based on skin color because we're indoctrinated with this idea that there is an other, that we're not just all Americans that should be treated equally and fairly. So when we say Black Lives Matter, it's because we understand we've been excluded from that for so long, and that it's time for America to move into the 2021 now. We should be more advanced socially than we are. And, hopefully Trump was a wake-up call, but I'm not so sure. You got 72 million people who voted for this guy after 4 years of the bullshit.
Yeah, after. That's scary.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's really scary. And so, we hope that we can move forward and move along. But my advice to folks that look like me is, get your act together and build with people who look like you. And folks who don't look like you but are willing to treat you with respect. Embrace that, but definitely build stronger relationships with people who look like you, because at the end of the day, we only got each other.
That's absolutely right. I think we have to also take into consideration that we have to stop being on the defense when we have conversations with people that don't look like us. We have to defend other people that look like us. We just have to defend ourselves just like they defend themselves. So we have to come to grips with that and feel the pressure of thinking that we have to speak for all Black America when we open our mouths.
Yeah,
that's really important.
That's a really dope point, Wes. I'm glad you said that, because you can't score points on defense. So if you're always in the defensive, then you can't move your point forward. You can't move your message forward. You can't move the thing forward. So that's a great point. But look, I want to set the show off, with a music video like we usually do. That'll give us a chance to invite people into the room. Folks who are already here, please subscribe, like the page, share the page. Let's bring more people into the conversation. We're going to have an ill convo today. We're going to get into the NFL standings, the NBA standings, and then have a really in-depth conversation about Black coaches and the lack thereof in professional sports. So stay tuned. I'm going to go to this. What is Madism? So, folks understand when we say Madism, we're talking about weed, but we're talking about all the isms, and weed is just the gateway to that conversation. So this next song is What is Madism, featuring KRS-One and General Steele. And let's do this.
Culturally, there has been a war waged against cannabis. Culturally, we dealt with different herbs, different plants, different foods that have over time become illegal.
When you invade a place for its resources, you wipe out the indigenous population. Right now, we are being colonized.
Today, you're going to meet several people who are former employees of our United States government. People who have looked at this over the years and just said, whether it was conspiracy or not, they don't want to talk about it. But did the CIA know the drugs are coming into the United States of America and help us get here? The answer to the question is yes. Tell them how we do it. Mad means a lot. It's a means pop. We gon' keep it moving, means we won't ever stop. Mary J. Reefer, weed, ganja, cannabis sativa, turned from marijuana. Smoked by the earliest man with no trauma. Smoked by the lawyers and judges, yes, your honor. Smoked by the Hindus and ancient Dalai Lamas. Smoked by the popes and early church fathers. Before the crack got them, before the crack gets them. Herb was the word, your man, you laughed with them. Sparked madism and got glad with them. Then in 85, bam, crack with them. Whole neighborhoods, damn, that did them. The worst that got hit for real was Black women. So the split the joint, the people got back with them. It was madism versus crackism. The crackism lost the war to Black wisdom. When the Black wisdom returned to burning ism, Black men and women were living in bad prisons. So when it comes to legalization, what's your position? Was the smack, 85 was the crack. Night living bass heads, beats and crack was whack. In the jungle with my brothers, found out black was black. 95, man, is a good Chris. Pass that back, got 5 on the 20. You can pass that hat if you ain't got no money. Can you at least snatch that rat? I'll be in the maze like days when I yearn. So the haze, that's what the grays and blazes will return. I'm down by law, in fact, 85, so I've always got the intimate shadow line. Let me light your fires, bust your pepper. Feel like a slave growing dust for him. Let's bash the system, crash on class. In the war on drugs, we fight back with badism. People I know, you reap what you sow. So when you plant the ism, you get to keep what you grow. It gets deep with no snow. Just say no to the cold boy and yes to the drove. 17 a pound, let's get that dough. gone. Spark the ball, fuck the law. I don't care what they saw. Smoking ganja with Obama, past Kush the Bush. Hit a split for Bill Clinton while listening to Sam Cooke. Look. The war on drugs was really designed to lock more poor folks up. All the policies and fallacies, I'm speaking to the leaders. I ask you what's the real crime, cheap in the sense of Mia. Brothers congregate on corners, catching misdemeanors. Politicians pocket pushing pills to kids and seniors. Man, I'm a dreamer just like King was. Martin Luther sparking through the blazing sense of Mia.
CIA is the kingpin, the Don. The CIA is the kingpin, the Don, the kingpin, the Don, the Don, the kingpin.
Cheer. That's What Is Madism, produced by Breakbeat Lou, by Hakim Green, featuring KRS-One and General Steele. It's off the the Madism project, Madism Who Wants This Smoke. So check for that, ladies and gentlemen. It's on all streaming platforms. You can further support by going to cop the album or just streaming some good weed music. That's what we're about, Madism. So, yeah, I know we wanted to talk about, black head coaches and lack thereof in professional sports, but I thought maybe we could just really quickly just touch on the NFL standings since we're in the playoffs, the NBA standings since it's the first full week has gone by, the first couple weeks has gone by, and just and then before we get to the conversation, just so really quick, AFC we got the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, AFC Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos, AFC North, Steelers.
Well, we're in the playoffs now, so
yeah,
we got Saturday.
Oh, I'm bugging.
No, I was saying we got the games already set Saturday and Sunday. Okay. So, all right, so we got 3 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. Colts Bills is on Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
You got Rams Seahawks at 4:30, and you have Bucks Washington, or the team without a name, at 8 o'clock. Right. So let's look at that Colts Bills game. So you always the first thing you gotta look at is the quarterbacks, right? So you got Phillip Rivers and you got the kid Josh Allen. Me personally, I'm gonna go with the Bills because they're the home team. They got a younger quarterback, but I can't see Phillip Rivers full time going out to Buffalo, Orchard Park like it used to be back in the day and winning that type of game in the playoffs. That's just my opinion. What you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with you with the Buffalo Bills. I think right now they're just a solid. You said it's the Bills, Colts, right? Yeah. I'm gonna rock with the Bills. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna rock with the Bills.
We got the Rams.
They got a solid organization right now. They're just really solid. They're playing at home. I just don't think the Colts gonna be able to overcome that energy. And Phillip Rivers in the playoffs. You know what that's about. So.
Exactly.
Okay. So what's
Rams Seahawks? You got the Seahawks are favored. That's a 4:30 game. I mean, you don't know if the quarterback on the Rams is going to play. I'm going Russell Wilson all day.
Yeah, I'm a rock with the Seahawks. Coach, Pete Carroll, excuse me. It's just I'm a rock with him. Yeah, Carroll Russell. I'm a rock with that. Okay, what else we got?
And then we got Bucks in Washington, the team formerly known as Washington. But we got Tom Brady against Alex Smith. I know where I'm going. I'm going with the GOAT.
I mean, it's the NFC least.
Yeah.
Washington organization is in disarray.
Yeah.
Their defense is kind of nice right now.
Their defense is real nice. Chase Young is a real deal. Absolutely.
And Alex Smith, I'm not gonna front on Alex Smith. I'm looking for an upset. Washington over the Bucks. I'm looking for an upset.
We'll put an H next to the Skins on that one.
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday we got Ravens Titans. So you got Lamar versus Derrick Henry.
And where
Lamar
they
get his first,
and where they playing?
they're playing in Tennessee. And we're going to see if Lamar can get his first playoff win.
I'm gonna go with the Titans.
I'm with you. I'm on the Titans. I'm taking the Titans.
I'm rocking with the Titans. I think that ground game is just gonna kill him, and I really like Tannehill as a game manager who can do a little something more than that.
Then we got Bears and Saints. The next middle game on Sunday.
The Bears and the Saints. I'm gonna go with the Saints.
I'm gonna go the other way. I don't know why, but I just got this funny feeling. The Saints always find a way to do something wrong in the postseason.
Yeah,
even if it's the ref, something always bad happens to the Saints.
Yeah, I just think the Saints will be able to put up points that Bills and Trubinsky's not going to be able to match him. Is he starting? Is Trubinsky starting? He's starting, right?
Yeah, you know what it is? I don't know what Alvin Kamara is doing. I think if Kamara plays and you still got Michael Thomas coming back, I think the Saints will probably win, but I'm just going to be different just to say the Bears because I don't really have a skin in the game on that one, but I'll go opposite on you on that one for sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
And then you got Browns and Steelers. I'm
going with
Baker Mayfield. I'm going with the Steelers.
I'm going with the Steelers.
I don't.
Yeah. Roethlisberger, Tomlin, that squad in the playoffs. I mean, unless it's just a complete meltdown, I can't see the Browns beating them.
Cleveland's coach was COVID positive, so he won't even be in the building. Their head coach. So that's big. I mean, that's Baker Mayfield's guy. He's not calling plays for him on the sideline. So hey, I just think that that's gonna be too much for them to overcome.
Right. Okay.
But that's where we are in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. Wild card. This is the first season that they had 3 wild card games a day. So 6 teams play, and 2 teams got to bye. Kansas City got to bye, and Green Bay got to bye. That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's skip over to the NBA right fast.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We're in week 2, week 3?
Yeah, everybody's played about 8 games pretty much.
Well, 8 games, 76ers.
They 7-1.
They're 7-1.
Yeah, they beat the Wizards last night. I think Beal had 60.
That's right.
Beal had 60. I think he was 20 for 35 from the floor. And but Embiid had like a banana stat line yesterday. He played really well. And I think Seth Curry played well too. I think he had like 28 last night. But they're getting off to a good start. And if you really look at it, you got the team I think in the East that I got to do it because we just have to because we haven't done it since we were like 12 years old. We haven't talked about the New York Knicks.
5-3 right now. They're 5-3.
They're 5-3.
I
don't know when the last time.
They're the only team in New York above 500 right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's kind of incredible right there.
If the playoffs started today, they'd be a 5 seed.
And just for the folks out there, we called it early. We called it early. We said, watch out for the Knicks. They're looking kind of good now. It's a long season. This is the top.
Yep.
A lot of things gonna happen. Teams are gonna get settled, what have you. But it's good. I'm happy for Knicks fans out there.
Yeah, we did. But we did mention them in one of the earlier shows that we said the Knicks gonna be real competitive this year. They're competitive.
Now we also got the Magic at 6-2, which is a surprise.
But they suffered. They're 6-2, but they got Marquez Fultz got hurt.
Yeah, just got hurt.
ACL is done for the year, so that's gonna hurt them a little bit. But they got off to a good start. Absolutely.
Got the Pacers at 6-2.
Pacers, they're playing well.
Yeah.
What's his name? Malcolm Brogdon had a big game last night. They beat the Rockets yesterday, and I think he had over 30, and that's pretty good because when he first came into the league, I don't think many people thought he could be a 30-point scorer.
Well, is he? Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think he'll turn out to be the player that we thought that was the shooting guard from Milwaukee? What's the other guy? The other guy, not Giannis, but the second guy. Middleton. Thank you. Now Brogdon was he was with Milwaukee, right? They traded him. to Indiana. Right?
Yeah, Brogdon was with Milwaukee. Yeah, they didn't want to re-sign him.
Do you
So
think that
essentially, Holiday is his replacement. You know what I'm saying? Drew Holiday,
right?
that's his replacement.
Yeah. Now, him putting up these types of numbers, that's something that we would, if he was in Milwaukee still. I'm just reflecting, going backward. It's like, teams lose a player, and then that player turns out to be the player that that you were looking for the whole time.
Yeah, he was there. He was actually in their backyard. But he's got a nice two nice big men to play with, Sabonis and Miles Turner. So they got and then they still have Oladipo. So they got a nice little mix in Indiana.
Okay.
Got a nice little mix. Playing Celtics. They in the 4th seed right now. At they're 6-3. Tatum had 40, I think, sometime this week in one of these games recently this week. He dropped 40. So they're gonna be tough.
I saw some chatter during the week about Brown and Tatum being able to coexist because they bring so much to the game. And I saw people questioning the chemistry, which seemed kind of odd to me. I thought they always worked pretty well. But I saw that. I don't know how you feel about that.
Brown, I like both of them. I think their problem is, to me, Brown is more of the dog of the two. And I think when they get down into crunch time, I know Tatum hit a game winner the other day. Tatum is just he's got his crazy footwork, so he can get any shot he wants. But it's just something about Brown that you gotta like. It's just that he has to learn that I think Tatum has to be the guy in that last 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And he's got to play off of him. I think if they play off of each other in the 4th quarter, they'll be better. They do it during the games, but sometimes in the 4th quarter when games are close, they kind of, they kind of might lose sight of things. But I don't want to overstate anything negative on the Celtics because we might have some Celtic viewers out here.
Okay, you don't want to upset nobody. We're not hating on the Celtics.
Yeah, I ain't trying to say bad about the Celtics.
We just little analysis. That's all. Little game.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what we do, without being a fan dumb, you know what I'm saying? A fan,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
just Aaron is chiming in heavy. NDA, no Defense Association.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
Right. And he said they can't beat Boston when it counts. I'm assuming he's talking about Philly.
Oh yeah.
Big shout out to Robert Arthur. Can the Knicks finish over 500 without the superstar? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Was
DJ Moore, Robert Arthur. Yeah, that's DJ Moore.
Okay.
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah. And to be honest with you, the Cavs and the Hawks are the 7th and 8th seed right now. I mean, it's early, but you don't see the Miami.
It says 7th and 9th. The Nets are 8.
No, the Nets are 9th right now in my standings right now.
Really?
But but you figure you got the Nets, the Heat, and the Raptors are all on the outside looking in right now. So they got to pick that up. That's all.
Wow, that's crazy. But we expect all those teams to kind of show more during the course of the season. Yeah.
Now the West, you got LA is number 1 and the Clippers are number 3, but the team in the middle, Phoenix, Chris Paul and Devin Booker. That's backcourt. That's a problem. That backcourt. And my man Ayton, if he could just, he stays healthy and just gets himself together, they're gonna be a tough team too all year because Chris Paul will keep them competitive.
Wow, that's something to see in Phoenix. Chris Paul go out there and really, ignite that team from the jump. So that makes it really interesting in the West to see them at the 1 seed. So this early in the season, and of course you got Lakers number 2.
So Lakers, I got the Lakers at 1, but they're both sticking to it. Don't matter. But
you want
to look at it. The Jazz and the Pelicans the Warriors and the Kings are all 4-4. Now, I just want to clear some things up because I was getting some, not hate mail, but people were asking me about my Steph Curry comment because he had 62, I think, right? Earlier in the week.
Yeah, it's 60 and 30 the next night.
Ask me what he had last night.
What did he have last
13.
night?
He had 13. So it balances out. That's what I'm trying to say. He had 13 last night. But, he was playing against a team that played defense last night. So it's going to be a little bit. It's not going to be 60 points every game. That's all I'm saying. You know, like you said, being that guard, that small guard, his game is not conducive to be the guy
every single night, and you need somebody else to help, give him space, somebody else to get hot, so you're not focused on him. Your defense has to change and not be centered around him. So I expect his thing, like you said, to balance out over the course of the season.
He's going to be 24, 25 a game, even without a doubt. I mean, we can give him that. The Kings, they had an interesting week. They're 4-4, but apparently it was the battle of the fathers during the week. I heard DeAndre Fox's father and
so what was that about?
Duke. What's his name? The big man that they have that was overrated coming out of Duke, and I can't think of his name now. Kings forward went to Duke. You got to get his name for me. I know you're looking it up.
Is it Marvin Bagley?
Marvin Bagley, yes. Their fathers were going at it. And somebody's father said, well, maybe your son will get a contract if he can start scoring more than 8 points a game. Something like that. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. But they're young, man. And I think Bagley expected to be that guy because he was all that hype coming out of Duke. And, De'Aaron Fox is a dog. You know what I'm saying? He's a dog. And he knows that Bagley isn't a dog. So,
but that's unfortunate that, you got family now making comments. Like, I don't like to see that, like, when outside members of players, like the family members, like that just upsets the game. It takes away from the game, and it brings negative attention to the people involved. And 9 times out of 10, what that's about. So this is a bad look, I think, all the way around.
It's not a good look. I mean, what it does is just entertainment for the people like us, right? We get to talk about it, but it's not a good look. But everybody else is under 500. They got the Mavericks and the Blazers and the Nuggets all 3-4.
Really? The Mavericks are 3-4. They're under 500. Wow, that's. What's up with Doncic? What's up with Luka? What's going on?
Luka is playing with a not the greatest roster, and he came in out of shape. Let's just call it what it is. He's not in shape yet, and Porzingis is hurt. They just gotta. It's gonna be tight in the West. I mean, and we still even mentioned the Rockets. The Rockets are like right now they 2-4 and at the 13 seed right now. So there's still some teams that we saw in the postseason last year that are not looking good this year. Zion looked good yesterday. He had a good game yesterday. Him and Brandon Ingram, and I like that combo. I told you that before the season started too. I just kind of like that roster that they have. So I think they're gonna be tough all year.
Okay. Well, look, we dealt with the NBA, dealt with the NFL. Now let's switch the conversation over to, Black coaches or the lack thereof in professional sports. And when we say professional sports, we mean primarily basketball, football, baseball. Where there is an overwhelmingly, the players that make up these leagues are overwhelmingly African American or Black or brown, Latino, African American, African, so forth and so on. And then when you see ownership, definitely lack of African American presence. General managers, executives, lack of African American presence. But especially on the field, on the coaching side, it doesn't. I mean, it makes sense. We know why, but it really doesn't make sense because the players are overwhelmingly African American. So you think you want that person, that communicator, to be able to relate to these players, be able to understand the cultural dynamic. It just seems like it would breed more chemistry between the players and the coach. Makes sense to me if the coaches were African American and they're not West.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like baseball, kind of when you look at the breakout in baseball, I think you have 30 teams, and I think it's 2 Black coaches. And the funny part about it, they might be 2 of the best managers, in baseball. Dusty Baker and Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is coming off a World Series ring, and the Dodgers have been competitive for the last 4 to 5 years, and he's had a lot of success. It's the first year he got the ring, so I wonder if they'll treat him like royalty because he has that ring, like they do a lot of other of his counterparts. Dusty was in a situation in Houston, because I live out here. He's taking over from the team that cheated, you know. So he was actually the best choice, though, when you really think about it, because he's just a player's coach, and he's always been a good communicator. And people have gotten on his case over the years about his game management. But Dusty is one of the best like coaches of men that there is in Major League Baseball, and you got white baseball players that say the same thing about Dusty.
Yeah.
So baseball is a long grind, and it's not really all about analytics or all about X's and O's or execution all the time. A lot of times, baseball is really about leading men, because it's such a grind, and you have to be present at all times, and you have to kind of focus on different mentalities. So I like those two guys, and I'm glad that they're where they are and they're having success. But in the NBA, the NFL, there's 3.
3, yeah.
In 2018 we had 8, and now we have 3, and it's Tomlin, Brian Flores, and Anthony Lynn. So Anthony Lynn just got fired this week, so now it's only 2. For the sake of minorities, they'll say that Ron Rivera is 1 too. So no doubt he is Hispanic, so we'll include him. But in terms of the look, it's Tomlin and Flores right now. Yeah. So I know we had a conversation, you and I, this week about the language that they used when they fired Anthony Lynn. Yeah. And I did a little bit more research on that. And when they fired Jim Caldwell, they used the same language, fired. ESPN fired him. And then there was another coach in the got his name, that they used the parted mutually parted ways.
Yeah. So
language.
Adam Gase and another coach.
Adam Gase and Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone was the other coach.
Got fired, released, parted ways, however you want to phrase it. Yeah. As did Lynn from San Diego, right? No,
yes.
Excuse me.
LA.
Excuse me. LA. Yeah. And ESPN, which is supposed to be the more liberal of the two sports programs, the way they phrase it, black dude, he was fired. With the white dude, they were let go.
Both white dudes were parted ways.
Parted ways. Mutually
parted ways.
Parted ways.
Yeah, and if you break that down, if you and I had a job and we were deciding to go somewhere else, and we went to our manager's office or a boss's office and said, I think it's time for me to move on. And he said, I understand you need better things. That's mutually parting ways. But so we can explain that to the next employer. But if they put on your resume fired, how'd you get fired?
Right.
It's a different conversation, right? You can't say the feeling was mutual. You got fired.
Yeah.
So language is special.
We put you in a defensive position. Yep. We put you in a position where you have to explain your way out of it. Where the other two are put in a position where there's no explanation; they can just move forward.
Yeah.
I found an interesting article by Today. Scott Stump. I can share some of it. As fans celebrate the return of the NFL, black coaches are hoping their biggest victory will come after the season is over. The NFL's 32 teams begin the season in full on Sunday with only 3 black head coaches and 2 black general managers in the league, where the players are roughly 70% black. Of the 5 head coaching jobs that were open in the offseason, none went to black coaches. 1 went to a coach of color, Washington Ron Rivera, who was Latino. Given the national climate in which protests against racial injustice have been at the forefront, and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has openly acknowledged the league's diversity shortcomings, the hiring cycle in the 2021 offseason looks to be one of the most scrutinized in NFL history when it comes to whether or not teams bring in black head coaches and general managers. So it's something that's in the mainstream media. People are asking questions. Roger Goodell has publicly talked about the need to do more, but yet we see the trend is that they do less. The trend is that like, they're not really pressured or pressed to include, you know, black men as coaches and general managers and so forth and so on.
You know, it's funny because you get a guy like Eric Bieniemy, and he won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Right? With Andy Reid, the offensive coordinator. And, you know, Doug Peterson was OC in Kansas City under Andy Reid. And they just went to the playoffs with Alex Smith, and he got a Philadelphia job. And then you had Matt Nagy on the Chicago Bears. He was the next OC after Doug Peterson. They just got to the playoffs, and they lost under Andy Reid, and he got a job. But the enemy won the Super Bowl, and he hasn't gotten one yet. He's like the top candidate. But today, the Houston Texans, he wasn't even on their short list. They hired the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator again, who hasn't even gotten out the playoffs yet, but he's already gotten a job. So, you know, it just goes to show you that some of this stuff is out of their control. No matter what you do, it's still not going to be enough, you know?
Yeah. So is it as much as the good old boys network?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good old boys network. And you know, if you're not a good old boy, and that's code for a white male, you know, preferably white Anglo-Saxon, but you know, any variation thereof. If you're not amongst that, then you just can't get in the circles, you can't get in the network, you can't get in the. So it's like it's how do you say it? It's plausible deniability.
Yeah.
You know, it can always, you know, well, you just didn't do enough. You just didn't whoop-de-woo. And it's really, you're not in their network. You're not in their.
Really, and they control the narrative all the time. So you take a guy like let's just look at Gruden and look at Tomlin, right? Now, in terms of circles, you would think that Gruden was the guru, right? He won a Super Bowl, and Tomlin won a Super Bowl. But the narrative around Tomlin is that he only won a Super Bowl because he took over for Bill Cowher's team, right? But everybody that has any logical sense in football knows that John Gruden took Tony Dungy's team to the Super Bowl. You know?
everybody knows that.
You know, everybody takes over something, right?
And Mike Tomlin's been back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's been back, and Gruden is still, you know, all hype and signing $10 million contracts. But the thing about it that makes me laugh the most is that they both been coaches for 14 years, right? Mike Tomlin.
Are you factoring in his break from?
Oh yeah, he's 14 seasons. They have him as 14 seasons as a head coach.
Okay.
And he has 114 wins in those 14 years. Mike Tomlin has 145 wins in those 14 years. Just think about that. That's a huge bump, right?
Yeah.
So a big gap for the same amount of time.
Yes, sir.
And you know, and if you really want to put it even in more perspective, the guy he took his team over, Tony Dungy, had 139 wins. And the narrative about Tony Dungy was first he couldn't win a Super Bowl. Then when he won, he only won because of Peyton Manning. So that's the other part of it that
his system then goes back to the Super Bowl with Brad Johnson.
Yeah, his system. Yeah, exactly.
Brad Johnson.
Yeah, Brad Johnson instead of Trent Dilfer. I mean, Trent Dilfer was this a train wreck. So you know, he ended up winning with Baltimore, but when he was
we all know that he admits he was just a manager.
Yeah,
he was just a manager. He admits it. Yeah.
So when you look at that from that perspective, guys have, I mean, you know, you're gonna have the Marvin Lewises who were around for 16 years and got knocked out 7 times in the postseason first round. We get it, right? But the funny thing about Marvin Lewis, he was one of those dudes that was working for Cincinnati, who they have their management is not the best management either, and they don't bring in no good players.
Yeah. So he's made. And you see since he's been gone, have they been back to the playoffs?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. So it just goes to show you, like, you know, when you kind of look at things on paper, and you kind of look stuff up and take it for face value, you understand that some of the stuff that we hear is not the case. And the same goes with the NBA. I mean, when you have You got Ty Lue, Doc Rivers. You got Paul Casey. You got Steven Silas, JB Bickerstaff, and what's the other one? Is Lloyd Pierce. Yeah, Lloyd Pierce on the Hawks. And you look at Ty Lue. Ty Lue won a championship, but everybody said he only won because he had LeBron. Eric Spoelstra had LeBron. I'm just saying. So, but when it's a different narrative. So, it's hard for these guys in basketball and football. To me, being at like you said, there's 70% or 80%, African American.
Yeah.
I just look. You and I are doing this together because we vibe together, right? So it's gonna be sometimes there's a connection that you have to have in order to have some type of success. And some people just speak your language, and some people just don't speak your language. And we have to just do stuff different to get a better result. And I think a lot of these owners have to understand that they're not the ones that have to deal with the coach every day. The players do. So
would you ever think you'll see an African American head hockey coach?
I don't know. There's a lot more black players in hockey than we realize. Because the Black Lives Matter movement moved over there, and they were pretty aggressive with.
They're very vocal. Yeah, very proud of the professional hockey players that stood up for Black Lives Matter.
So it could happen. Yeah, I think it could happen, but the numbers are going to be like Major League Baseball, if you ask me. With hockey, it'll be the same. It'll be similar to baseball. You'll have one or two.
You go to hockey and soccer events, like they'll call you nigga, like straight up. Like they'll out their mouth, they'll yell it, like they'll monkey, throw bananas at you. Like it's still to this day, and it's rough in Canada. It gets real bad. I don't know what the hockey player's name is. Excuse me for not knowing, but I know the story. This is recent. This is like last year, where I think it was the NHL had to like come together, like, yo, this has to stop.
Yeah,
like it's got to stop. And that level of racism and outward aggression, you see it in hockey, you see it in soccer. Soccer is a very nationalistic, especially in Europe, very nationalistic, right? And so you see riots between countries based on
people kill over soccer.
Yeah, people kill over soccer. Yeah. People have died over soccer matches for real.
Yeah.
So you see that level of aggression, and you add the racism in, or you add the nationalism in. It makes for a very volatile situation. There was I saw a post. I don't know how real this post is, but it was of I guess, some crazy person who threatened LeBron James.
Yeah.
And that's scary, bro. That's real sick. That level of aggression. And I guess ownership really taking a leadership position as Americans to look to elevate African American, especially in management position, coaching position.
Yeah.
Like that goes a long way for America getting used to dealing with African Americans seeing us like that.
Yeah.
Right. And why not? Because we're experts at this thing anyway.
I mean, the thing about it, I look at Masai Ujiri from Toronto. He's a bad man. I mean, he's one of the best. He's one of the best GMs in the NBA.
He can't even celebrate his team's victory on when they win the ring because some cop wants to yank them.
Yeah. And the cop wants to sue him for pain and suffering.
Come on, man. Yeah. What are we doing?
The cop pushed him twice, but he was suing Masai Ujiri. Yeah. But I mean, we need to get more faces in the GM spots. But I really think that the bottom line is it's going to take ownership to do that. So let's call it what it is. Michael Jordan, he's an owner, but he hired his North Carolina brethren, Mitch Kupchak from North Carolina, but he didn't want to hire. He couldn't hire an African American. So it has to start with people like that first, because there's not going to be a lot of opportunities. And you can still say Masai Ujiri is not a GM of a coach in the United States. He's in Canada.
He's in Canada.
So,
that's right. That's right.
Canada,
That's right. That's right. He's in Canada. But your Michael Jordan point, is it Michael Jordan's responsibility to carry that weight?
Yeah. Yes, because he knows how to go to the cash register and check his till with all his products that he sells in the Jordan brand, and he is the NBA. He's still a face of the NBA, even though he's not there, not a logo or anything like that. Yes, so it behooves him to be that guy. Donating $100 million is nice to Black Lives Matter, but I think making a statement and hiring another African American GM is what you might want to do, Mike. I mean, that's where it could start, because he can do it. He can do it. It's just the bottom line. He can do that.
Yeah, but I don't know if I wish that on the first Black GM of the Houston. I mean, of the Hornets, right? The Hornets,
Bobcats.
Bobcats. I don't know if I would want to do that to the brother. Because you got Mike's teams is
yeah, but Mike can hire somebody else in North Carolina. He went to school with other cats. It wasn't just Lebo and Mitch Kupchak and stuff like that. There's some other guys he played ball with. I mean, he played with James Worthy. I don't think Worthy wants to be a GM, but he's got other options in Mike's circle that I'm sure he's around people that have the skill set to be a GM in the NBA.
Does Mike want to win?
No.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah, I mean, he don't want to win.
Does he want to win? Like, we want to get somebody a chance with ownership that actually wants to win. Mm-hmm. So we can say, listen, this is why you need more African American coaches.
Yeah.
More coaches of color.
But think about this though. Think about how hard it is for an African American coach or GM to get to that spot. Like I spoke to somebody this week about Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell was a coach of the year, and he doesn't have a job, right? So, but he's really good at what he does. He's just not the best communicator when it comes to management. So a lot of these guys have the ability to talk to the players, but sometimes they can't coexist with management, and that's another problem.
That's fair. But I want to. Aaron Rice says, or asks, have we done our research to criticize Mike's impact?
No.
Has Mike had impact in other areas? Does he have to be an owner or GM?
No, Mike doesn't have to do that, Aaron Rice. He's the owner of the Charlotte Bobcats. It's his prerogative who he wants to hire. We're just asking that since he does have that platform, that maybe he might be able to use it in another way. So that's this Black-owned businesses trying to have Black-owned people. That's how we started. We gotta change the cycle somehow. So he's in that position. But no, he doesn't have to do anything but keep counting his money.
Yeah. That's I agree. Mike is known for this, and anything extra is just extra from him.
Oh yeah.
It's like, don't expect it.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, think about a guy like the Clippers, right? So Lawrence Frank, I want to say his background was a ball boy somewhere along the line. And next thing you know, he's the head coach of the Nets.
Was he a ball boy for the Knicks?
I forget who he was, but he was like a ball boy somewhere. And he just stayed around, and they said he was a smart kid. And next thing you know, he's the president and head of business operations for the Clippers, basketball operations. Mm-hmm. So it's like, wow, like okay, but you have guys that have a good resume and have experience and can't get jobs. And I think some of that is part of why some of these coaches don't coexist with the players too, because some of these coaches didn't even play.
Yeah, that's true.
And part of it is that, like, how you gonna tell me how to do something that you can't
that you can't do, that you've never
and you didn't do.
Right.
You
That's
know,
true indeed.
so
True indeed. True indeed. You know, it's the good old boys network. You know, it's a stereotype that people feed into. They hate when they get called out on it, but they feed into it by creating circles of exclusion.
mhm,
And that's what we see in basketball and football,
mhm.
especially circles of exclusion. Um, and then you know the inclusion part is go out on there and play. You know, just go play ball, go pick cotton, go play ball, go pick cotton. You know, I had a debate with Torre, the writer Torre,
Okay.
about the NFL being a plantation and being much like slavery. And he was like, his retort was, "You can't say that because they make millions of dollars, and anybody that makes millions of dollars you can't possibly say they're slaves." And I'm like, dude, like even on the plantation during slavery, there were slaves who were athletes. They were fucking fighters and wrestlers, and you know, them niggas didn't live like jokers picking cotton.
No, they didn't.
Their life was better.
Yeah.
But they were still slaves. They didn't own their themselves. They didn't own their work. They didn't own their like your work, your labor. That's what you own. But you don't own it when you sign that. You know, you sign it away, and you look at what you actually lose. You know, Colin Kaepernick, i.e.
Everything. But you know what? Why you probably there's some truth to that.
Like when you get to the level, you realize how slavery is in full effect.
It is. I mean, because they don't even get
Yeah, man.
the people see that money, but they don't even see that money in football. It's not guaranteed. So they might get the signing bonus money, but they don't get that. They don't see that whole contract. If they get hurt, that's it. So, like at the NBA and Major League Baseball, that's making your money. You see every penny of that money, hurt or not. You see every penny of it. The NFL is not like that.
Yeah.
So and these guys have short shelf life.
In the NBA, is more of a part. It's a partnership between the players.
Yeah, with the commissioner and the players, absolutely, absolutely.
Revenue sharing. It's like, you know, with the NFL, you know, if they could pay out anybody that much money, you just imagine what that player is actually generating back for ownership. Like ownership not going in debt. No matter how much money they pay out, they're not going in debt. So
they're not going in debt.
They're not going in debt. And
not at all. Even with the pandemic, again, we talked about this before. The TV deals are so huge that they don't need you and I to be in the stands for them to make money. They don't need to sell no hot dogs. You know, give out flyers, whatever. They don't need to do any of that to make money. They're making money.
That's the thing. As long as you don't know how much money is actually being made, the illusion continues.
Yeah, especially with all these, like before you would work with the networks. Now they're working with all these streaming companies, the Hulus, the Amazon Primes. These are all partners of the NFL and in the NBA. So they're still their TV. The TV money is crazy now. YouTube Live. I mean, they have so many different ways that they can show you a live game now. It's not just the network money. So the networks get the bulk of the bulk share of it, but it's not. It's money all over the place in the NFL and the NBA.
Okay, but to bring this back around to the topic, what do you think can be done to pressure ownership to allow for more black coaches?
Like I didn't like the Rooney Rule at all. I understood it, but I didn't never agree with it because why would you can't force somebody to do something, and it became a joke. You had guys just bringing black guys in that they knew damn well they weren't going to hire, and just to say that they did it, and that's an insult to the coach. So I don't really have an answer for it. You just hope that that enough people can keep talking and networking to the point where they can get in front of these some of these owners, because these owners already have an idea what they want. Like as a Cowboy fan, what's the last thing you're gonna see? Because he could have hired Bieniemy, Jerry Jones. He didn't, because he doesn't want a face man that's going to be. I mean, and Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a huge personality. He doesn't seem like that type of guy. But Jerry doesn't want anybody to come in there and upstage him. That's pretty much what it really boils down to. The guy could be a black dude coming in, coach it, and make the Cowboys right.
Oh my God. Crickets.
Exactly.
Crickets. Yep. That was dope. I know you had sound effects. We need to include. You got to program that in.
That's how it would be. It'd be crickets.
No doubt. We had at 7:54 right now. But I figure we can maybe go down the comment section, include our audience in the discussion.
Let's do that.
Pick some out. Let me see. Sean Eastham says B-Enemy will most likely get a gig.
Who?
B-Enemy. He said,
yeah.
Aaron Rice, Dusty can't manage. Players want to play for him, but he's a horrible manager.
I said, did I not say that he was a good leader of men? That's what
disclaimer right fast.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me see. Aaron says the owners strategically keep the power within their control. People of color will share the power, and that's not acceptable behavior in the eyes of the good old boys. Doc Rivers is a horrible coach.
That's good. Aaron Rice again?
Yep.
Yeah, he's all over. Yeah, I see where he's coming from.
They came after Michael Jordan's dad to get at Mike. Old news, bruh. What have we done our research to criticize Mike's impact?
Yeah, we heard that before.
Marvin Lewis to Jets. Thoughts? Okay.
You know what? A lot of people are big on Marvin Lewis getting a job again this year. They think he's gonna be be back out there on the sideline this year. A lot of people like Marvin Lewis.
Wait a minute. Was he ever at the Jets?
No, he was with the Ravens before he went to Cincinnati. He was the Ravens DC defensive coordinator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marvin Lewis to the Jets.
Yeah. Listen, why not?
He said, well, according to Aaron, he's a trash coach. He received the pass in Cincy for years. But we talked about that. Anything bring nobody in Cincinnati, really.
Listen, I mean,
he got to the playoffs.
Coach is sometimes only as good as the people, the players you put around them. You know.
On black ownership, how do you feel about Baron Davis and Master P trying to buy Reebok?
Baron Davis and Master P are trying to buy Reebok?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Why not? So Master P says he wants Iverson to be the Reebok, where Jordan is to.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't know.
That shit is dope. Oh man.
I'm not mad at that right there.
I mean, that's just dope. And Master P and Baron Davis coming together to buy Reebok. That'll be real dope. But Iverson being to Reebok with Jordan is to Nike. Crickets. I don't know about that one.
But listen, when you really think about it, though, it's not a bad idea because AI is just still like 12 years old anyway. Sometimes, where you still roll around here, so you don't know if it can work or not. I think it might work. That's a good look right there for AI.
No, people love Allen Iverson.
Yes, man. Yes,
people love Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of love for Allen Iverson.
I like AI too, man.
Yeah. But
I like that.
No, I like that a lot.
I like that.
But it's like, don't compare.
Your man just opened up a bank, right? In Atlanta.
Killer
Mike, yeah.
Yeah, Greenwood.
Greenwood.
Mm-hmm. Greenwood. Yeah. It's funny. I was on a discussion today with a group of people. They're doing a revitalization project in Greenwood, Tulsa, to rebuild that whole area that got destroyed during the 1921 Tulsa massacre.
Yep.
Right. They're doing a bunch of stuff with young folks. It's beautiful, beautiful thing. So there's a lot of those things happening where Black folks are focused on accumulating wealth and building on some real things and stuff.
Well, yeah, I think Westbrook is doing a documentary on it.
See,
Russell Westbrook, he's doing a documentary on Tulsa.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that should be. I think it's going to be out in this year, 2021.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So it's a lot of powerful things going on.
Yep.
in sports or sports related, where you can see, you know, power and influence amongst black people, black and brown people and women. Because man, big shout out to what is the team in Atlanta, the WNBA team in Atlanta,
the Atlanta Dream.
that yo man, they put that work in and got the owner of their team is Loeffler, who just lost to Warnock. And they said that you know, they had no idea. You know, she smiled in their face, have them at the house for dinner. It's all good. Love is love. When you find out she is who she is in her politics and what she's really about, they was like, oh man, they went full force in campaigning for Warnock, her opposition, who would win first African American senator in Georgia in this nation's history.
I think the numbers were 2,000 senators that were, you know, that we've had in history, and I think between 8 and 10 were only 8 to 10 were black. So, you know, overall, that's sad. But happy for Warnock, Pastor Warnock.
Pastor Warnock, yes.
I think his dad was Martin Luther King's partner, right?
They founded Ebenezer Baptist Church together. His dad and Martin Luther King, and he's the pastor there. So you know his reach is real strong in the Atlanta metro community and Georgia itself. He's got that history connection to the civil rights movement. It's awesome to see that, and that the WNBA team, the Atlanta Dream, the Dream. Keep the knowledge though.
I have a dream.
But this chick owns the team.
Yeah.
Do the knowledge, people. How they take turns, coin it, phrase it, market it, sell it back to you. 52 fake out, all the while they sit back collecting all the profits off your struggle, off your thing. Do the knowledge. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But big shout out to the team, the WNBA team, the Dream, for putting in that real work and getting her behind out of there. No doubt. Yep. So big shout to Aaron Rice III, Glenn Caldwell, Sean Esom, Raul Arthur, you know, the real left-handed. What up?
We call them the RU crew. That's RU right there. RU's finest. The Rock.
Rutgers University in the building.
Yes, sir.
Yo, I don't know if you caught DJ Johnny Mack been posting videos from 1990, 91, 92 Rutgers parties.
Oh no, I haven't seen
on Livingston campus on Facebook. I'm gonna tag you in some of it. Crazy.
Him and DJ Mook used to work together.
It's crazy. Yeah, man. So yeah, we're gonna shut this down. We've been rocking with y'all for about an hour, and we're gonna keep it short and sweet to the point. I hope y'all join us next week on Thursday, the 14th.
Yes, sir.
7 o'clock. And that's how we do it. This is Madison TV, Madison Sports, Hakim Green, West Henderson. And yeah, we out of here.
Have a good one, y'all.